How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stick mobility class. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me today. So for today's class, we're going to need 2 long sticks, okay? And we are going to use a wall. We are going to get into some upper body shoulder mobility drills and some strengthening drills for the shoulders and upper back as well. Now, I do have a bench for us to sit on later on, and I have a yoga block, or you can use a pillow for something for you to compress your knees into, and the towel is going to be for later on as well. So I'm going to take my 2 sticks here, and we're going to start with some foot and ankle drills, okay? Now we're going to have the 2 sticks. We're going to have our feet roughly a little wider than shoulder width apart, okay? So I'm going to take the sticks, I'm going to pick them up, I'm going to angle the bottoms in just a little bit, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my hands at roughly hip shoulder height, about sternum or shoulder height. What I'm going to do from here, get into that horse stance to make sure my pelvis is stacked under my spine. I'm going to bring both heels up as high as I can. Hold that position. Make sure all 5 toes are in the ground. I'm going to bring them back down slowly. Okay, don't let your heels touch the floor. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to teeter-totter from left to right. So I'm going to bring that right heel up. I'm still hovering that left heel off the floor. Now I'm going to switch and bring my left heel up, hovering the right foot off the floor. Okay? Now we're going to go right heel up, left heel down. Remember, do not let your heels touch the floor. Left heel up, right heel down. Do not let the level of your hips change here. Okay? Right heel up, left heel down. Good. Left heel up, right heel down. Let's go a couple more. Right heel up, left heel down. Good. Left heel up, right heel down. Good. Bring them both down and relax. Good. So we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to add in some active rotation through the hips. We are going to use the wall here, so we're only going to need 1 stick for this one, okay? So what I'm going to do here, and the action is really coming from the feet and rotating those hips in, so we get a lot of work in integrating the foot, ankle, and hip into this movement. So I'm going to be facing with the stick going to my right, okay? Hands are going to be roughly about shoulder width apart, okay? And I want to take a horse stance, so the same distance as we did for the first drill here. What I'm going to do from here, I'm going to drive the stick into the wall lightly, roughly about 20% tension. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate my left foot or outside leg in while trying to keep my torso facing forward. Then I'm going to bring that outside leg and heel back down. Good. Still pushing against the wall. I want to do the same thing again. I want to pivot the foot, rotate that hip in. Okay, my right hip or right foot is still facing forward. I'm getting into internal rotation on the left hip. I'm going to bring that heel back down. Okay? Same thing. So driving that stick into the wall 20%. Pivot that outside foot. Good. Back down. Let's go 1 more. Good. Pivot that outside foot. Keep that inside foot forward. Back down slowly and relax. Now I'm going to switch. So now I'm going to pivot my inside leg here. Okay? So position and stance is still the same. Driving that stick into the wall. Torso stays forward. And now I'm going to pivot that inside leg. Keeping that outside leg facing forward. Bring that heel back down. Good. So driving the stick into the wall 20%. Pivot that inside leg and hip. Keep the torso forward. Bring that right heel back down. Let's go 2 more. Pivot that inside leg. Really drive up. Make sure you're really pushing off those toes and the ball of the foot here. Back down. 1 more time. Pivot that out inside leg here. Bring it back. And relax. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. So with this, the reason why I like doing this one in particular, switching sides or switching legs, is we're getting work in both directions here. Okay, so while generating force in one particular direction. Okay, so setup is still the same, roughly about a shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider stance. Feet are pointed forward, elbows at 90 degrees, hands at shoulder width. Okay, drive stick into the wall, 20%. Okay, pivot that outside leg. Good, make sure you're staying up tall. Good, drop that outside heel back down. Good, pivot with the right foot or outside foot. Bring it back down. Good, make sure you breathe here. Let's go 2 more. Pivot with the foot. Back in. 1 more time. Pivot with that outside foot. Drive towards the wall. Back down. Excellent. Now we're going to switch sides. Still pushing that stick into the wall, 20%. Pivot with the inside leg. Bring it back down. Good. Pivot with that inside leg. Make sure you're gripping that stick. Back down. Let's go 2 more. Good. Pivot. Really drive that inside leg towards that outside leg. 1 more time. Pivot. Good. Back in. And relax. Excellent. Good. So, now we're going to get into the part where we are going to use the yoga block. Okay? So for this, I'm going to be seated. And I'm going to be in a seated position here. Now, what I want to do is I want to place a yoga block or pillow, whatever you have available to you. I want to place it on the inside of my knees here. Now with this stick, I'm going to take it, place it behind my mid-back. Okay? Now from this position here, arms are straight out. Okay? The main objective is to make sure we try to keep the knees and hips facing forward while just trying to rotate the upper spine, the thoracic spine, okay? So from here, what I want to do, I want to create some tension. So I'm going to compress the block between my knees to about 20%. I'm going to pull the stick apart, 20%. Now I'm going to rotate to the right, pushing that left hand forward, letting that right hand drift back. I'm going to bring it back forward now. Now I'm going to rotate to the left, driving that left or right arm forward. Stay up tall. Make sure you breathe. Switch back to the other direction. Drive that left hand forward. Your head should also turn. Okay? So as I'm rotating to my right, my head's rotating to the right. Bring it back forward. Drive that right hand forward, rotate to your left. Good. Let's go 1 more each way. Rotate to the right. Breathe. Now rotate to the left. Really drive that right hand forward. 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And relax. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're changing the stick now. We're going to bring it up over our shoulders here. Okay, so I actually want to have my hands straight out here. Okay, so what I'm going to do from here, still in that tall position, I don't want you to grip the stick. Okay, I just want you to rest your hands on top. Now what I'm going to do from here, stick is across my upper back. Okay, I'm going to rotate to the right a little bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my right hand to drive that stick down towards the floor. Good. So we're rotating and laterally tilting the spine. I'm going to bring it back to neutral or back to level. come back forward. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the left. So I'm going to rotate to my left. Now I'm going to laterally tilt, driving down with this left hand here. Breathe. Good. Bring it back to level. Back forward. Now I'm going to rotate to my right again. Try to get a little bit further. Then I'm going to drive that right hand down towards the floor. Good. Bring it back level. Back to center. Now I'm going to rotate to the left. Again, try to get a little bit more range if you possibly can without any pain. And I'm going to drive that left hand towards the floor. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back level. Come forward. And excellent. Now we're going to keep this position here. Now we're simply going to laterally flex. Okay? So, same thing. We want to make sure we're still compressing the knees on a block here to activate the adductor line. Okay? So, up tall. Okay? I'm going to start by driving this right hand down towards the floor. Left hand comes up. Going to feel a stretch in the spine. A lot of left rib cage will pop up. That right rib cage to compress. Now I'm going to bring it back up to neutral. Now I'm going to push that left hand down towards the floor. Good. Hold. Make sure you breathe. Back to neutral. Good. Drop that right hand down towards the floor. Back to neutral. Good. Now bring that left hand down towards the floor. Trying to open up the spine as much as we can here. Good. Back to neutral and relax. Awesome. And so now we're going to get into some kayaking. So we're going to we're staying in a seated position here. Okay. Now the feet are going to be together. Okay. Or about an inch apart. Again, whatever's most comfortable for you. So I'm going to take the stick, I'm going to grip out as wide as I can, okay? And I'm going to start my right hand up, and I'm going to start to kayak. So I'm going to drive that right hand through, left shoulder comes up and over. Now I'm going to drive that left hand through. Remember to make sure you're feeling your scapula move along your rib cage. Speed should be matched to mine. Okay, not going any faster. Really try to be really methodical with getting that shoulder blade to not only roll over and glide, but create some tension there. Okay. Good. Now we're going to start to laterally flex over to the side. So as this right hand comes up and over, I'm going to laterally flex to my left a bit. Left hand comes up and over, I'm going to laterally flex to my right. So now we're getting a little bit of spine movement here. Good. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Good. And now we're going to get in opening up the T-spine a little bit with some extension. Okay? So I'm going to have my feet roughly hip to shoulder width apart. Okay? Now I'll go from the side here so you can kind of see how my back looks. I'm going to grab roughly about chin to neck level. Okay, that's where I want my hand to start. That's what I'm going to do from here. Six, roughly about 6 inches in front of my foot, with my midfoot here. Okay. So I want to keep my shoulders down. I'm going to hinge back, driving my hands forward. Going to get a nice, good stretch in that T-spine. Right, open up. Now you want to keep your mid-lower back as neutral as you possibly can. Breathe. Good. Going to come back up. Good. Okay. Let's go 2 more here. drive those hands out, hands back, drive those hips away from your hands, hold. Good, come back up. Make sure you're breathing, it's extremely important here. Last one, drive those hands forward. Good, come back up slowly and relax. Good. All right, so now we're gonna get into the shoulder drills. We're gonna do some upper body here. And so we're gonna first work on shoulder extension, and we're actually gonna use the wall here. So the cool thing about this is we can get our shoulders into further extension and work on generating tension laterally, okay? And so with this one, you wanna be really careful of how you're standing and how you're generating tension, and you don't wanna lean into it, right? So I'm gonna take the stick, I'm gonna place it behind my back. Okay, I wanna make sure the end of the stick is pressed into the wall. I'm gonna first start from a neutral place, so feet are wider than shoulder width. In that horse stance, okay, glutes are tight. You wanna keep your chest up tall. I'm gonna start with the stick right next to my glutes or touching your glutes. Now what we're gonna do from here, I'm gonna keep my arms straight. I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades down, and then I'm gonna drive that stick into the wall, 50% tension. I don't wanna shift to my right. I just wanna drive with my hands here, okay? 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good. Now we're gonna increase that tension. We're gonna go to 70%, and then we're gonna further increase that range of motion here. So, same place, glutes tight, spine up tall, arms straight, shoulders down, and then drive that stick into the wall, 70%. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Now we're gonna further increase that range of motion. We're gonna get further into shoulder extension. So I'm gonna bring my arms away from my glutes, okay? Whatever's comfortable for you. So here I'm gonna start at 50%. So arms straight, glutes tight, stay up tall, and drive the stick into the wall. Hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good, okay? Same thing again. Let's go 70%. Right, arms straight, shoulders down, glutes tight, and push. 70%, make sure you're not shifting. You're gonna feel that left hip, left leg working a bit to keep you centered. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Let's get a little bit further into that range of motion here, okay? So I'm gonna go to my comfortable max range. So from here, sticking to the wall, arms straight, shoulders down, and push, 70%, hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good, now we're gonna switch sides. Okay, so we do have to make sure we are doing both sides here. Sticking to the wall, okay? Want to get in that same stance, right? That horse stance here. Drop those knees down, glutes tight, stay up tall, okay? Arms straight, drive the stick into the wall, 50%, push. Remember, you're gonna feel the outside leg working to keep you centered. You don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. You want to try to be as centered as possible. Hold. And 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna go again. Legs bent, arms straight, shoulders down. Okay, drive that stick into the wall. hold 70%. And 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to increase that range a little bit more. So increase that range a bit. Okay. Arms straight, shoulders down, glutes tight, stay up tall, and push 50%. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good. Now we're going to go 70% on this next one. Okay. Glutes tight, stay up tall, shoulders down, and push. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Now one more rep. Again, we're going to get to that max comfortable range here, okay? As long as it doesn't cause any pain or discomfort. All right, get set in position, 70% and push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. And take a break and relax for a second here, okay? So we can get some work with some shoulder extension there, right? We can work on the back, the lats, the rhomboids, all those extensor muscles that extends the hands behind the body. So now we're going to work in an opposite, okay? So I'm going to take the towel. This is where the towel comes in. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that I have as much room as I need. Now, I'm going to be in a face down position. I'm going to have my head resting on the towel, okay? And what I'm going to do from here is I want to make sure the stick is directly overhead. So the positioning of the spine is you don't want to be too far in extension. A little bit of extension is okay? But a cue that I like to go with is keeping the glutes tight to lock that lower back in and make sure we're not extending at the low back, okay? So make sure you keep your glutes tight here. So we're gonna first start off with about 40% tension. So the stick's gonna be locked out overhead like so. And what I want you to do here, I want you to pull the stick apart and then hover the stick off the floor, okay? Now your grip width is gonna be dependent on your shoulder mobility, so whatever doesn't cause pain. I'm gonna place my forehead down on the towel, okay? From here, I wanna keep my arms straight, glutes are tight. Now what I'm gonna do, pull the stick apart 40%, and then hover the stick off the floor. Should feel that upper back working. Hold. And 3, 2, 1, back down. And ease off. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3 more reps, increasing the tension by 10% every time. So now we're gonna be at 50%. Arms are straight, glutes tight, pull the stick apart 50%, lift the stick up off the ground, hold. 3, 2, 1, back down, and ease off. Good. Let's get 2 more. 60% on this next one. Arms straight, glutes tight. Pull the stick apart, 60% tension. Lift up off the floor. 3, 2, 1, back down. And ease off. One more time, 70%. Good. Arms straight, glutes tight. Pull the stick apart 70%. Lift the stick off the floor. Hold. 3, 2, 1, back down. And ease off. Good. So now we're going to add in a behind the neck press. So we want to try to bring the stick to our upper back, or as close to our upper back as we possibly can, pulling apart the entire time, okay? So the first cue is going to be a pull stick apart, hover it off the floor, try to bring the stick back towards your upper traps, okay? Keeping the elbows as level as you possibly can. Hold until I say press out, then you're going to extend your hands or arms back out and slowly lower the stick to the floor here, okay? Get to that position, pull the stick apart 50%, over the stick off the floor, keep pulling apart, bring it down, hold, 3, 2, 1, press it back out, and down, ease off. Good. Let's try to get a couple more reps here, okay? Let's go, 60%. Pull the stick apart, lift up, bring it down towards the upper traps, hold, press back up, and down, ease off. Good. Let's go one more time here. Arms straight. Pull the stick apart. Hover the stick off the floor. Bring it down. Hold. Press it back up. And down. Ease off and relax. Good. So that is a very, very challenging drill. So with that, you can kind of prep yourself for overhead, or simply just get that upper back stronger by adding in a ton of tension. So now we're going to get into a row type of variation, okay? So what we're going to do here, I'm going to go to a half kneeling position, okay? Now, I'm going to start with my left foot forward. So I'm going to be pulling in with the right hand, okay? So I'm going to need one stick for this. I'm going to take, my left hand, place it up over top. Now my back leg, I want to have my toes into the ground, so I'm going to dorsiflex that ankle, okay? I want to make sure my big toes really dig it into the floor here, because I want to use that to kind of drive my hips forward and squeeze that right glute here, okay? So I'm going to have my left hand up top, okay? You can have it wherever is most comfortable for you to grab. If you need to grab it here, that's fine. You can grab it a little bit higher, grab it a little bit higher. Stick is in line with my right hip here, okay? I'm going to reach out and grab the stick. I want to kind of grab right about where my belly button to rib cage area is, okay? Arm is straight. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze that right glute. I'm going to drive the stick down with both hands. Then I'm going to pull with my right hand, pulling my elbow to my rib cage. 50%. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Now we're going to do 2 more reps. Let's increase that tension, okay? Let's go 60%. So, squeeze that right glute, drive that back foot into the floor, drive both hands down, pull that elbow in towards your rib cage, 60%. Hold. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good. Let's go one more time, 70%. Okay. Drive those toes to the floor, squeeze that right glute, drive both hands down, pull in with that right hand, hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off, and relax. Good. Now we're going to switch sides, okay? So now right leg's forward, left leg is back. Set up in that same position, stick is angled out from the front of the toes here, okay? Now I'm going to switch my hands, so my right hand goes up top, left hand is again belly button to rib cage height here. Okay, go through those same cues. First, drop the foot into the floor, squeeze that left glute, drop both hands into the floor, 50%, pull that elbow in, hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off, good. Let's get 2 more reps, up that tension to 60%, okay? So, drive the back foot to the floor, squeeze that left glute, drop both hands down, pull in, bring that left elbow to your left rib cage, feel those lats engage. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. One last time, okay? Both arms are straight, okay? Drive that back foot to the floor, squeeze that left glute, drop both hands down, 70%, and pull in with that left hand. Hold. 3, 2, 1, ease off. And relax. Good. Okay. Let's take a break for a second here. So now we're going to get into some deep fascial stretching. So since we did do quite a bit of our body, I do want to make sure I focus on mainly working with loosening up the upper body here, okay? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab both sticks. We're first going to stretch out the chest and the shoulders. So there's a couple different ways we can do this, but the drill that we did earlier with the thoracic extension, we're just going to change that drill around a little bit, okay? So what I want to do here is I want to get into about the same position. So feet are roughly shoulder width apart. Toes pointing forward. You want the bottoms of the sticks about roughly 6 to 8 inches in front of your toes here. Okay? Now what I want to do here is I'm going to grab roughly about chin height. Okay? Now instead of the sticks coming straight out, they're going to come out to the side more like a Y shape. Okay? So from here I'm going to hinge back and I'm going to bring the sticks out like a Y and allow myself to hang. You should be feeling a stretch in the pecs and the shoulder. Good. One side's going to feel tighter than the other. Okay? Just want to make sure you breathe in this position here. Hang out for a second. Good. And go ahead and come back up slowly. Excellent. Now we're going to do that again. This time we're going to move the sticks down to our side and then back up to the original position of the Y. Okay? So, same thing. Going to drive those sticks out like a Y. Open up for a big hug here. Hips back. Good. Now I'm going to slowly start to bring the sticks down towards my hips. You're going to feel different parts of the chest stretching here. Good. Bring it back up slowly to that Y position. Hold. Good. Come out slowly. And relax. Good. So now what I want to do here is I want to go down to a half kneeling position. So I'm going to have my left leg down first, left foot down first. I'm going to have my right foot back, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to generate a little bit of tension, working on some rotation, loosening up that spine a bit, while at the same time working on the hips here, okay? So left foot is forward. I want to have the stick roughly in line with my hips here, okay? So if I were to look from the side, the stick roughly about in line with my hips, okay? So, turn back forward, back foot, the top of my back foot is flat to the floor. I'm gonna grab up tall with my right hand, hands a little sweaty, okay? Now what I'm gonna do from here, I'm gonna squeeze my glute, drive that back foot into the floor. I'm gonna activate a stretch in the front of the hip, the anterior tissues, okay? Now with my left hand, I can place it on the stick here, and I want to drive the right hand into the floor lightly. Okay, set that shoulder blade, and then I'm gonna rotate to my right, bring it back forward, and ease off. Okay, good. You're only generating about 20% tension here. So let's go a couple more. So left hand's on the stick, drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute, drive the stick into the ground with the right arm, and rotate to your right. Three, two, one, back forward, and ease off. Good. Let's go one more here, okay? Right hand is up. Okay, drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute. Good, drive that stick into the floor. Now rotate to your right. Hold. 3, 2, 1, back forward. And ease off. Good. Let's switch sides here. Now we're gonna have the right foot forward. Okay. There's also, we're not moving the hips forward in this stretch here, right? Just keeping the hips where they are. Just trying to open up those anterior tissues of the hip through activation, okay? Six on my left side, left hand is up, okay? So I'm gonna drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze the left glute. Right hand is on the stick. I wanna drive the stick into the floor, then I wanna rotate to my left. 3, 2, 1, back forward, and ease off. Good. We're gonna go 2 more here, okay? Activate, drive that foot into the floor, squeeze that left glute, rotate to the left. Three, 2, 1, back forward, and ease off. Good. Let's go one more here. Arm straight. Drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze the left glute, drive a stick into the ground. Good. Rotate to the left. 3, 2, 1, back forward. And relax. Good. Okay. So now we're going to finish off with some bow and arrow here. So we're going to have our feet forward. Okay. What I want to do here is I want to have the stick on my left side. We are going to change positions as we go through this stretch. So I'm going to have my left hand roughly about hip height. I'm going to take my right hand and place it up over the top. The stick's about roughly 8 inches away from the outside of my foot, line with midfoot. I'm going to drive my hips away and then extend both hands out. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. We're going to do that one more time, then switch sides, and then we'll change positions. So drive my hips away. Get that stretch on that lateral line. Extend both hands out. Three, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Let's switch sides here. Okay. So my right hand's on the stick. Okay, again, roughly about waist or hip height. Take my left hand, place it over the top, thumb face down towards the floor. I want to first drive my hips away. Extend both hands out. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off. Good. Rotate the stick a bit. Do the same thing again. First, drive the hips away from the stick. Extend both hands out. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in slowly. Ease off. Good. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into a lunge position, okay? Still doing a bow and arrow. Now we're just changing to a split hip position, okay? So, left leg is forward, okay, it sits on my left side. Again, I wanna make sure it's in line with your hips here, okay? It's gonna be very, very important. Try to keep as much balance as you can. So I'm gonna have my left hand roughly about where my hips are. So since my hips are lower, I'm grabbing lower with my left hand. I'm gonna take my right hand, reach up over the top here, okay? So I wanna bump the hips out to the right from this position. Then I'm gonna extend my hands out. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Let's do that one more time. Make sure you rotate the stick a bit, okay? So squeeze that right glute, drive the hips away from the stick, then extend those hands out. Hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good, stand back up. Now we're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna bring my left foot back, okay? Again, stick is in line with the hips here on the right side, okay? I'm gonna grab it about roughly hip height. Take my left hand, place it up over the top, thumb face it down towards the floor. Okay, I wanna squeeze that left glute, drive the hips away, then extend both hands out. We're gonna feel a huge stretch in the front of the hips here, but also that lateral line. We're gonna ease off. Good. Rotate the stick a bit, okay? Same thing. So, squeeze that left glute, drive hips away from the stick, then extend both hands out. Hold, and 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good. Going to come out. And that concludes today's class. Thank you everybody for joining me. I hope everybody had a good class with quite a bit of focus on upper body, okay? Hope you guys have a good time. Catch you guys on the next one.